Our ABC 15 investigators are going in-depth, taking you to Colorado City.
It's a place our Attorney General says is still run by Jeffs from his prison cell and has a rogue police force at his command.
So why aren't your lawmakers doing anything about it? ABC 15 investigator Dave Biscobing is taking action tonight to find out.
Warren Jeffs calls himself prophet of God, but he's serving 120 years in prison for marrying and sexually assaulting underage girls like this 12-year-old. From a prison cell in Texas, Jeffs holds an entire community captive, a community right here in Arizona, Colorado City. Jeffs wields his power with the help of the Colorado City Marshals, the local police department.
Do you consider the Marshal's Office a legitimate law enforcement agency?
Definitely not.
Arizona Attorney General Tom Horne wants to shut the Marshal's Office down completely.
They're under the thumb of the dominant church.
Horne has tried to get state lawmakers to pass a bill that could put the Marshals out of business. But 2 years in a row, the bill has failed, and the state legislature has done nothing.
Doesn't even get a vote this year. What do you think about that?
I'm very frustrated.
Ask them why they sit back and allow the abuse of women and children in this state and think that it's okay.
Flora Jessup escaped the polygamist FLDS church 25 years ago. She was finally able to help her sister Ruby get out in December.
This is actually a picture of you.
Yes.
This is Ruby at 14, on the cover of Flora's book, Church of Lies. That's the age Ruby was forced into marriage. By 15, she was pregnant. Now 26, in her first television interview ever, Ruby says she repeatedly tried to run away.
The Marshal's office is the one that brought me back, to be placed back into the abuse.
In the last decade, state records show 7 marshals have had their police certifications revoked. One marshal was convicted of unlawful sexual conduct with a 16-year-old girl. Another admitted to molesting a 5-year-old girl. And yet another, an admitted bigamist, was accused of failing to report child sex abuse. 2 more wrote letters to Warren Jeffs pledging their loyalty to him while he was on the run from the FBI. On top of that, the Marshal's Office is being sued for unconstitutional policing by the Department of Justice. We asked the Colorado City Marshal's Office for an interview. They declined.
We're literally fighting for our freedom and our civil rights.
Andrew Chatwin knows the Marshals personally. He grew up with them. Chatwin broke away from the church 10 years ago. He returned to live in Colorado City so he could help others escape.
I believe it would be irresponsible for me not to stand up for them.
Chatwin is working to help victims with private investigator Sam Brower, a nationally known expert on FLDS and author of Prophet's Prey.
There is no law here. This is the most lawless town in America.
Together, the two have worked with state and federal investigators. But both say the problem is every time one marshal gets kicked off the force,
Warren Jeffs is going to handpick each marshal that's replacing them.
A cycle they say won't stop until the marshals are totally disbanded.
I think they're totally dysfunctional. I think they participate in the oppression. The oppression that they're participating in is, in my opinion, the worst injustice happening in the state of Arizona right now in my watch as Attorney General.
In March, Tom Horne's bill passed the Arizona House 52-7. But it's here in the Senate where the bill died, without a hearing or a vote.
If that's how the state of Arizona and all these politicians think it should be run, I've said it before and I'll say it again, that's shameful. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Really appreciate you sitting down with us and talking.
You bet, my pleasure.
Senator Chester Crandall is the chair of the Senate Public Safety Committee. He claims he killed the bill because it doesn't go far enough.
That they're getting their orders from Warren Jeffs, to me, it's a bigger problem than just the police department.
Crandall told us he plans to work on a new bill for next year that has a more comprehensive approach.
Doesn't it stand to reason that you could go higher up and basically try to fix the whole systemic problem?
But no one we talk to is convinced anything will get done. They've heard the promises before.
Obviously it's for show. If you do nothing, then they're safe, and that's what they choose. They choose the safer route.
So far, the only real action has come from Horne. Last year, his office set aside $400,000 to bring in the county sheriff. One Mojave County Sheriff's deputy now patrols Colorado City.
The good guys, the only ones that you can trust if something happens up there.
It took Flora Jessup 12 years to rescue her sister Ruby and Ruby's 6 kids. She says without the help of the sheriff's office, moments like this would have never been possible.
If it had not been for the Mojave County Sheriff's deputies, Ruby would not have her children today, because the marshal's office did everything they could to block it.
I'm investigator Dave Biscobing, ABC 15 News.
Tracking a